Every morning you hear that still, small voice reminding you that you were meant for more. More impact, more freedom, more fulfillment. Yet day after day, distraction, doubts, and just one more. Habits steal your focus until your dreams lie buried under the weight of routine. Success is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of definite purpose and unwavering focus. The men and women who rise above mediocrity do so not through luck or mere talent, but through absolute seriousness of intent. If you wish to break free from the noise and claim your rightful place among the successful, you must first master your own mind. In the next moments, you will discover the principles that will train your thoughts for achievement, help you cast aside the trivial, and set you firmly on the path to progress. Few will take this journey, but those who do will transform their lives forever. Every morning you wake with a spark of possibility flickering in your mind. As dawn's light seeps through your window, you sense the whisper of potential, a project half formed, a goal waiting to be claimed, a version of yourself yearning to step into the world. Yet by nightfall, that spark so often lies buried beneath fatigue, regret, and the residue of another day spent on autopilot. You lie awake wondering where the hours went, why the vision dimmed, and how you can reclaim the promise of the morning. What if I told you the greatest threat to your future isn't a dramatic catastrophe or an external enemy, but the tiny, unremarkable choices you make, often unconsciously, every single day? These are the silent destroyers of growth. Habits so ordinary you barely notice them, yet they steal your time, drain your focus, and kill your potential from the inside out. A casual scroll through your phone before breakfast. A half-hearted, "I'll start tomorrow." A distracted, "just one more" episode before bed. Each seems harmless. Each compounds into a chasm between who you are and who you might have been. Once you recognize these destroyers, you can no longer pretend they don't exist. And once you break their hold, your life will never be the same. If you're tired of living on repeat, if you're ready to stop surrendering your dreams to routines you never chose, this is where the cycle ends. Over the next moments, you will identify the hidden habits quietly sabotaging your progress, and you will learn how to dismantle them piece by piece forever. Let's begin with the granddaddy of all silent thieves, procrastination. In the soft moments after the alarm rings, you decide just for today to let that important task wait. "I'll do it tomorrow," you tell yourself. It feels benign, even comforting, a postponement rather than a refusal. But in that postponement, something profound is happening. Your potential is being siphoned away, drop by drop. Procrastination is not a harmless delay. It is a silent thief that robs you of your destiny. Imagine placing your dream in the hands of time. How reliable is that steward? Time shows no mercy. It does not wait for motivation to return, nor does it negotiate with excuses. The seconds you waste today are gone forever, transforming into hours, days, even years of unrealized ambition. Those accumulated delays aren't just lost moments. They are the compounding interest of unrealized potential. History's architects understood this. They refused to wait for perfect conditions. They created conditions. Thomas Edison didn't lounge around for inspiration to strike like lightning. He lit the way with relentless experimentation, 10,000 trials before he found the right filament for the light bulb. His genius was not sudden. It was the product of daily determined action in the face of uncertainty. Each morning he returned to his tinker-filled lab, knowing that progress emerges through motion, not contemplation. When you yield to procrastination, you forfeit more than external achievement. You forfeit the person you might have become. Your dreams do not merely pause, they decay in the void of inaction. The antidote is immediate, imperfect action. Not more planning, not more preparing. Beginning, think of the mountain before you. From a distance it looks insurmountable. The peak shrouded in clouds, the slope steep. Yet the climber does not leap to the summit in one bound. He places one foot on the trail and takes a step. Then another. Each step, however small, shifts the terrain beneath him. The mountain that loomed large becomes a series, navigable footholds the moment you begin climbing. Action creates momentum. Momentum begets confidence. Confidence begets more action. But to cross from desire to achievement, you need discipline, the bridge between dreams and reality. Discipline is not extraordinary willpower. It is a system that makes forward motion inevitable. Break tasks into micro steps. What feels overwhelming in one gulp becomes manageable in bite-sized pieces. Want to write a book? Begin with a single paragraph. Want to launch a business? Start by researching one small detail. Want to build strength? Do one pushed up. The moment you conquer that first micro step, you generate the energy to conquer the next. Design your environment. Remove distractions so the right action becomes the path of least resistance. If social media steals your morning, place your phone in another room. If clutter saps your focus, clear your workspace. Small adjustments in your environment yield disproportionate returns in productivity. Create accountability. Share your commitments with someone who will check in. The knowledge that another person is watching transforms vague intentions into concrete obligations. You'll find that the fear of letting someone else down often outweighs the fleeting comfort of delay. Deep down, you already know what must be done. Your intuition whispers the next step, even if your excuses shout louder. The gap is not in your knowledge. It is in your willingness to endure temporary discomfort. You do not need more time, you need more courage. The courage to begin now while others hesitate. Starting before you feel ready separates the exceptional from the ordinary. Consider the entrepreneur who launches a minimum viable product, a bare-bones version of his vision, into the world knowing it will be flawed. He chooses to learn from real-world feedback rather than wait months to perfect every detail in isolation. His imperfect product uncovers the true needs of customers and guides the next iteration. Meanwhile, the perfectionist remains mired in development, his vision untested, his dream unlaunched. Starting before you feel ready is the defining trait of those who change their worlds. They act alongside their fear, allowing purpose to outweigh apprehension. They recognize that success rewards the initiation of action, not the intention to act. Their mantra is simple: launch now, refine faster. Will you continue waiting for the right moment, or will you decide that now, imperfect as it is enough? This moment contains all the potential you need to begin. Your choice today determines your reality tomorrow. Choose action. Choose courage. Watch locked doors swing open. But action alone is insufficient without the sustaining power of discipline. Discipline is the daily decision to honor commitments to yourself, especially when motivation wanes. It is the quiet voice in your mind that says, keep going, when your body begs for rest. It is the structural framework that transforms one-time victories into permanent transformations. Discipline is not about depriving yourself of pleasure. It is about investing in your future self. The athlete who wakes before dawn to train does not resent the early hour. He respects the body he is building. The writer who resists distractions does not loathe leisure. She cherishes the novel she is crafting. The entrepreneur who works weekends does not glorify business. He values the empire he is constructing. Your discipline need not be draconian. It thrives on small, consistent rituals, a 5-minute review of your goals each morning, a daily block of uninterrupted focus, a brief evening reflection on wins and lessons. Over time, these micro-rituals compound. What once required willpower becomes second nature. Your identity shifts from I have to I choose to. And herein lies the great paradox: discipline begets freedom. The man who has mastered his mornings, his habits, and his attention enjoys more freedom than the man enslaved by distraction. He is not a slave to his impulses, but the architect of his day. He does not react to the world, he designs his experience within it. Now, while momentum and discipline set you in motion, you must also tend to your inner dialogue. The voice inside your head is either your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It is the lens through which you interpret every event, every challenge, every opportunity. If that voice doubts, hesitates, catastrophizes, it will sabotage your best efforts. If that voice encourages, affirms, innovates, it will propel you forward with unstoppable force. Become conscious of that inner voice. Most people allow it to run unchecked. Repeating fears, regrets, limiting beliefs like a broken record, you must intervene. When a negative thought arises, I can't, I'm not ready, I always fail. Catch it, name it, then replace it with a constructive alternative. I will learn, I can improve. Every step forward counts. This practice of self-talk is not mere positivity, it is cognitive conditioning. Neuroscience shows that repeated thoughts forge neural pathways. What you think consistently becomes your default mode of thinking. If you repeatedly entertain doubt, your brain becomes wired for hesitation. If you repeatedly affirm possibility, your brain becomes wired for opportunity. Use affirmations strategically, not as hollow slogans, but as deliberate reprogramming tools. Speak them with feeling. Feel the conviction in your body. Let the words echo until your mind has no choice but to accept them. Then act in alignment with them. The affirmation, "I am decisive," only takes root when you make a swift decision in the face of uncertainty. The affirmation, "I embrace challenge," only solidifies when you lean into discomfort rather than avoid it. In this way, thought and action reinforce each other in a virtuous cycle. You think strength, you act with strength. You act with strength, you think strength. Over time, your internal dialogue and your external behavior converge into a unified identity, the identity of someone who wins. At this point, you have momentum. You have discipline. You have intentional self-talk. But there is one more element to fortify your foundation environment. Your physical and social environment either supports your growth or undermines it. The design of your workspace, the people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, each shapes your behavior and your mindset. Audit your environment ruthlessly. Remove distractions that derail your focus. Declutter your desk so your mind can find clarity. Introduce cues that prompt positive habits. Leave your journal open on the table. Place your workout shoes by the door. Set your phone to grayscale during work hours. Small environmental tweaks yield outsized improvements in behavior. Equally important is the company you keep. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they ambitious or complacent? Supportive or critical? Growth-minded or stuck in scarcity? If your circle tolerates excuses, you will feel permission to make them. If your circle celebrates effort and progress, you will raise your standards. Seek out those who challenge you, who believe in your potential, who push you to stretch beyond perceived limits. Finally, guard your mental environment by curating inputs. In 2025, noise is omnipresent: notifications, headlines, opinions fighting for your attention. You must choose what to let in. Consume ideas that elevate you. Books, podcasts, conversations with wise mentors. Limit sensational news, social media, scrolling, gossip. Just as a garden flourishes when you remove weeds, your mind flourishes when you remove mental clutter. When momentum, discipline, self-talk, and environment align, you build an unstoppable system. One that generates success as a byproduct of daily routines. You no longer chase motivation, you trigger it. You no longer hope for focus, you design it. You no longer drift, you direct. But let me underscore one final truth about habits: they compound for or against you. A single day of excellence does not make a champion, but a single day of mediocrity does not make a failure. It is what you repeat, the brick-by-brick construction of your character, that determines your destiny. If you miss a day, forgive yourself and return to your routine immediately. The cost of a brief lapse is negligible if you correct it quickly. But the cost of letting one lapse become 2, then 3 is the erosion of identity. Once you see yourself as someone who never misses workouts, who always begins tasks promptly, who speaks to yourself with confidence, you will defend that identity fiercely. A lapse becomes unthinkable. So build your system. Craft your routines. Master your mind. Design your environment. And then every morning when you wake, fan the spark into flame. Begin again. Let each day's choices accumulate in your favor. In time, you will look back and realize you did not merely chase success, you became it. This is where part 1 ends, not with a period, but with a comma, because your journey has only just begun. You have identified procrastination as a silent thief and armed yourself with action, discipline, self-talk, and environment design. You have laid the first bricks in the fortress of your future. Ahead lie parts 2-5, where we will delve even deeper into the principles that will rewire your mind, elevate your purpose, and carry you to heights few ever reach. Stay with me, because the transformation you seek is not found in fleeting inspiration, but in cumulative mastery. You have taken the first step. Now, let us stride forward together. Every morning after the initial surge of purpose fades, another challenge often creeps in: self-doubt. You look at your to-do list, your vision board, your goals, and a whisper asks, "Oh, are you kidding? You can't really pull this off." That whisper is the voice of self-doubt, the stealthy saboteur that robs more dreams than failure ever will. In part 1, we uprooted procrastination and built the muscles of action, discipline, and environment design. Now we'll dive into the twin pillars that determine whether you'll stand back up after a fall and whether you'll ever take the leap in the first place, your relationship with failure and your belief in yourself. Failure is not an obstacle, it is the crucible of mastery. The moment you shy away from failure, you forfeit your birthright to grow. Too many talented individuals freeze at the prospect of mistakes. They chase perfection, and in doing so, they paralyze themselves, never launching, never risking, never learning. Yet every successful person you admire has failed more times than most have even tried. They stumbled, they fell, they tasted defeat, and then they rose stronger, wiser, more determined. When Thomas Edison worked on the electric light bulb, he conducted thousands of experiments that didn't work. Yet he never called them failures. He called them data points, essential feedback guiding him to the one filament that would glow. When asked about his 10,000 failures, he replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That perspective, turning what others label failure into a roadmap of discovery, is the difference between those who stagnate and those who innovate. Imagine your goals as a mountain peak hidden in the clouds. Each failure is not a rock thrown at you, but a signpost marking paths that lead away from dead ends. Without those signposts, you'd wander aimlessly, repeating mistakes. With them, you navigate ever closer to the summit. Your missteps are not indictments of your worth. They are lessons directing you to refine your strategy. Every fall contains within it a seed of wisdom. The entrepreneur whose first business collapses gains first-hand knowledge of market realities, knowledge no textbook can provide. The artist whose early works are rejected learns what truly resonates with an audience. The athlete who misses the game-winning shot discovers weaknesses to address in training. This is the crucible of growth raw feedback, distilled through reflection, forged into newfound capability. But to extract wisdom from failure, you must choose to respond constructively. You will feel disappointment, natural and necessary. You will grieve the outcome you hoped for. Allow yourself that emotional processing, but set a deadline. Decide, in 24 hours I shift from feeling failed to feeling fueled. Then ask the questions that matter. What specifically went wrong? What assumptions did I make that proved false? What skills do I need to develop? Whose advice or perspective can sharpen my approach? Too many people treat failure as a yes-no verdict on their identity. I failed, therefore I am a failure. Instead, reframe failure as a how-to guide. This attempt didn't succeed, therefore here's what I must learn to succeed next time. That simple linguistic shift from I failed to this attempt failed separates your identity from the outcome. You remain worthy, capable, and evolving. The world's great achievers didn't simply endure failure. They embraced it. They welcomed the intelligence it delivered. J.K. Rowling's early drafts were rejected by a dozen publishers, yet each rejection letter honed her craft until Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, and he used that sting to fuel relentless practice until he became the greatest of all time. Their secret weapon was not talent alone, but a mindset that saw failure as fertilizer for future growth. So when you face your next setback, greet it as a tutor. Welcome its lesson, then stand and press on. Each time you do, you strengthen your resilience muscle, your capacity to absorb adversity and convert it into progress. Over time, you will come to crave the lesson of failure because it signals you are pushing boundaries. No failure means no growth. While failure sharpens your skill, belief fuels your journey. Believe in yourself with absolute, unshakable certainty, or you will never act boldly enough to succeed. Belief is not ego or arrogance. It is self-respect and recognition of your potential. It is the engine that transforms vision into reality. Without belief, your goals remain distant dreams. With belief, they become inevitable outcomes. The world mirrors your conviction. It responds not to your desires, but to your certainty. If you believe you can achieve, you mobilize your energy, focus your attention, and persevere through obstacles. If you doubt, hesitation seeps in. You question your next step. You look for exit ramps. You settle for less. Your actions align with your self-image. What you believe about yourself becomes your behavior and your results. Belief is a skill you build. It grows through evidence, small wins layered over time. Start by setting micro goals you know you can achieve. Each time you do, record the win. Celebrate it, Let it feed your confidence bank. As your track record of success accumulates, your self-belief compounds. You'll look back and realize, I did that, I overcame that, I mastered that. Therefore, I can master this next challenge. Visualization is another powerful tool. The mind cannot distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. When you repeatedly see yourself succeeding in meticulous detail, with emotion, you prime your brain to recognize opportunities and solutions that align with that vision. Olympic athletes, top entrepreneurs, elite performers across fields use visualization not as wishful thinking, but as mental rehearsal that wires neural pathways for success. Spend time each day seeing your goal realize, the project launched, the audience captivated, the result attained. Feel the pride, the relief, the excitement. Condition your brain to treat that vision as familiar. Then, when you act, your subconscious will guide you toward it. Guard your mind from doubt like a fortress. Doubt is contagious. A single negative thought, if entertained, will breed others. You must intercept it immediately. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't, replace it with, I choose to learn how. When you think, what if I fail? Answer, then I'll gain data and try again. This internal dialogue, spoken with conviction, reprograms your mind from fear to curiosity. Surround yourself with belief-fueling influences. Consume stories of triumph over adversity. Read biographies of those who turned setbacks into breakthroughs. Engage with mentors who see your potential and refuse to let you settle. Distance yourself from chronic skeptics who project their limitations onto you. Your mind is a garden. Cultivate flowers of possibility, uproot weeds of negativity. Your belief will be tested. In the quiet hours, when results lag and the world offers no applause, you must choose to trust yourself. You must choose to lean into uncertainty rather than shrink from it. Each time you act despite doubt, you build courage capital, the inner resource that makes the next leap easier. Over time, you become the person who doesn't need to feel ready. You simply move. Failure and belief work together in a powerful synergy. Failure provides the lessons. Belief provides the courage to apply them. Failure reveals the path. Belief lights the way. Without belief, failure paralyzes. Without failure, belief lacks grounding. Embrace both. Seek out challenging goals that stretch you beyond current abilities, knowing you will fail along the way, and knowing your belief will carry you through each fall. To make this real, commit to these practices starting today. Fail forward ritual. After any setback, write down 3 concrete lessons learned, then write your next action step. Do this within 24 hours. Don't let regret fester. Confidence ledger. Maintain a journal of wins, no matter how small. Review it weekly to reinforce evidence of your capability. Daily visualization. Spend 5 minutes imagining your success in sensory detail. Feel the emotions. Program your brain for that outcome. Doubt interceptor. Whenever a negative thought arises, pause, label it out, that is doubt. Then replace it with the constructive questions. What can I learn? Belief circle. Surround yourself, online or in person, with at least 3 people who believe in your vision and challenge you to grow. These rituals rewire your mind. They transform failure from enemy to ally and belief from aspiration to habit. Over weeks and months, you will notice a shift. Setbacks no longer devastate you. They empower you. Doubt no longer dictates your actions. Belief propels you. Your mind becomes a laboratory of growth rather than a prison of fear. As you integrate these principles, you will rise to challenges with confidence rooted in evidence. You will approach unknowns with curiosity rather than dread. You will greet failure as a familiar guide and belief as your constant companion. This is the essence of Part 20I, the alchemy of turning failure into fuel and doubt into determination. You now possess the mindset tools to leap when others hesitate, to learn when others quit, and to persevere when others surrender. Carry these lessons into your daily life. Each time you face a setback, perform your fail-forward ritual. Each morning, review your confidence ledger and visualize your success. Each time doubt arises, intercept and reframe. And each week, connect with your belief circle for reinforcement and fresh perspective. In doing so, you will transform failure's sting into wisdom's light, and you will solidify belief as the unshakable foundation beneath every step of your journey. Part 2 has armed you with the mental framework to embrace setbacks and cultivate unwavering self-belief. In Part 3, we will harness these inner strengths into decisive action, revealing how to make clear, courageous decisions that shape your destiny. Stay with me. Your transformation continues. Every day, in the quiet before the world stirs, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to drift, driven by circumstance, distraction, and the expectations of others. The other path leads to design, shaped by decisive action, clarity of purpose, and unwavering commitment. In parts 1 and 2, you learn to dismantle procrastination, fortify your mind against doubt, and transform failure into fuel. Now it's time for the crucible of success, the power of decision. Every great achievement begins with a decision. Not a casual thought or a fleeting wish, but a firm, unbreakable decree. This is the direction I choose. Look at every empire ever built, every innovation that changed the world, every life transformed against the odds. It all started with one person deciding, enough is enough. I will make this happen. Most people drift through life carried by currents of circumstance. They wait for a sign, permission, or the right moment. They postpone their dreams, hoping opportunity will knock fully formed. But those who achieve greatness understand that decisions shape destiny, not luck, chance, or fate. The moment you make a firm decision to take control of your life, you set forces in motion that begin to shape your reality. Imagine standing at the helm of a ship without setting a course. The winds and waves will carry you wherever they please. But when you set a heading, when you decide on a destination, you harness the elements to serve your purpose. Your decision becomes the rudder that directs every sail, every adjustment, every effort. To harness the power of decision, you must first eliminate, maybe from your vocabulary, someday and, if I feel like it, other languages of drift. Replace them with, I will, and I must. A decision isn't a polite request to the universe. It's a command to yourself. When you decide, you align your mind, your emotions, and your actions behind a single point of focus. Decide on your major purpose. Write it down in clear, specific terms. Feel the weight of those words. Speak them aloud as a vow. This act, small in appearance, seismic in impact, signals to every part of your being that you are no longer willing to settle. Your subconscious mind, that ever-working factory, takes note. Blueprint updated. Begin production. Next, back your decision with relentless action. A decision without action is merely a wish. The moment you decide, identify the very next step, even if it's tiny, and take it immediately. Momentum is born in motion. Each successive step, however small, reinforces your decision in your nervous system. Doubt weakens, confidence strengthens. You will face resistance. Indecision is comfortable because it lets you avoid responsibility for the outcome. But every moment you hesitate, you leak energy. Fear fills the vacuum. The longer you wait, the more reasons you find to delay. Recognize hesitation as the enemy of progress. When you feel its pull, remind yourself, I decided. Now I act. Decisive action compounds like interest in a bank account. A single decision followed by action begets clarity. With clarity comes speed. With speed comes momentum. Before long, what seemed impossible becomes inevitable. You move from wondering, what if, to stating, what's next? To cultivate decisiveness, practice these rituals daily intention setting. Each morning, declare your top 3 decisions for the day. Treat them as non-negotiable. Rapid course correction when new information arises. Decide swiftly whether to adjust or stay the course. Avoid prolonged analysis. Decision audit each evening. Review the decisions you made. Celebrate the ones you honored. Note where hesitation seeped in and commit to greater resolve tomorrow. Remember, every decision is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Decide quickly, change slowly. A swift decision focuses your energy. Gradual adjustments refine your trajectory. Like a great captain, you set your heading once and then make small navigational tweaks rather than constantly second-guessing your route. When critics question you, your resolve must outmatch their doubt. When setbacks test you, your decision must outlast the discomfort. When fear whispers for retreat, your commitment must roar, I decided. The world does not respect intention, it respects execution. It does not remember wishes, it remembers decisions kept. By mastering the art of decision, you seize the helm of your life. You become the architect of your destiny, not a spectator of circumstance. Carry this truth into every area of your life. Relationships, career, health, personal growth. Decide the standard you will not compromise. Decide the non-negotiables you will defend. Decide the legacy you will leave. Then act as if your life depends on it, because it does. Your future unfolds at the intersection of your decisions and your actions. Choose decisively. Act relentlessly. Design a life that stands as living proof of your courage to decide. Every sunrise brings a choice to react to life's chaos or to design your own course with intention. In the first 3 parts, you uprooted procrastination, transformed failure into fuel, and harnessed the power of decisive action. Now, in part 4, you will refine the compass of your journey, clarity of purpose. Then forge the habits that turn vision into reality. This is where dreams crystallize into plans and plans convert into progress. Clarity of purpose is the lodestone of achievement. Without it, you drift, responding to every distraction, every demand, every passing whim, never quite arriving where you long to go. A ship without a chart may sail, but it will not reach a chosen harbor. Likewise, a life without a clear destination may feel busy, even productive, yet it lacks direction. You expend energy but seldom accumulate progress. Successful people do not drift, they design. They know exactly what they want, why they want it, and they align every thought, word, and action to that purpose. Their lives resemble precision instruments rather than random experiments. Their daily rituals, priorities, and decisions all point toward a single, unifying, true north. Though to gain this clarity, you must do more than wish or hope. You must define. Take out your pen and a blank sheet of paper. Write at the top my definite major purpose. In the next lines, describe, without reservation or self-censorship, what you intend to accomplish. Be as specific as possible. Financial freedom. Specify the amount, the timeline, and how you will use it. Creative mastery. Describe the medium, the audience, the impact. Personal transformation. Name the qualities you will embody and how you will measure them. As you write, feel the weight of your words. This is not an academic exercise. It is a covenant with yourself. Your brain registers the act of writing as a commitment, and your subconscious mind mobilizes resources to fulfill it. Neuroscience confirms that writing goals by hand lights up the brain's planning centers, forging neural pathways that make you far more likely to follow through. Once your definite major purpose is on paper, read it aloud, twice a day, morning and evening. Speak it not like a robot reciting lines, but like a visionary declaring destiny. Feel the emotion behind each word. Savor the anticipation, the pride, the certainty of success. This ritual embeds your purpose deep in your psyche, where it becomes the filter for every choice. With clarity comes focus. Every opportunity that drifts into your orbit must pass the test. Does this align with my purpose? If yes, you pursue it with vigor. If no, you let it go without regret. Most people lack this filter. They say yes to every invitation, every shiny idea, every urgent request, until their time is so fragmented that nothing of significance gets done. Focus is your scalpel, not your hammer. It lets you cut away the non-essential so you can invest in what truly matters. To sharpen your focus, schedule focus sessions, blocks of uninterrupted time dedicated solely to tasks that advance your major purpose. Protect these sessions ruthlessly. Turn off notifications, close extraneous tabs, let calls go to voicemail. In those sacred intervals, your highest value work gets done. Equally important is a stop doing list. For every item on your to-do list, ask, what can I eliminate? Which habit, meeting, or obligation distracts me from my purpose? Write it down, and then cross it out of your schedule. The freedom to focus arises not from adding more tasks, but from removing the trivial many so you can master the vital few. Clarity also fortifies persistence. When setbacks occur, and they will, you will not question your path, only your tactics. A clear purpose is an anchor in storms. It reminds you why you endure hardship, why you embrace struggle, why you refuse to quit. Without clarity, obstacles become excuses. With clarity, obstacles become challenges to overcome. Now, having established and daily reinforced your purpose, you must translate vision into reality through habits. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. A single workout does not create an athlete, but daily workouts build the body of a champion. A single page written does not produce a novel, but daily writing does. Habits bridge the gap between intention and outcome. To build powerful habits, follow this 4-step process cue. Identify the trigger that initiates the habit. It might be a time of day, a location, or a preceding action. Attach an emotional desire to the habit. Link the habit to the pleasure of progress or the relief of avoiding regret. Response: perform the habit. Start small so it feels manageable. Reinforce the habit with immediate positive feedback, however small. For example, if your purpose involves writing a book, establish a cue, perhaps your morning coffee. Crave the satisfaction of moving your story forward. Respond by writing just one paragraph. Reward yourself by marking that paragraph complete in a journal or enjoying a moment of reflection. Over time, your brain associates the coffee writing ritual with progress, making it increasingly automatic. Another key to habits is environment design. Make desired behaviors easy and undesired behaviors hard. If health is your purpose, place workout clothes by your bed and hide unhealthy snacks. If learning is your purpose, put books on your nightstand and remove the TV remote. You won't rely on willpower. The environment will steer you toward success. Accountability accelerates habit formation. Publicly commit to your ritual. Tell a friend, post on social media, or join a group pursuing similar goals. The social pressure and encouragement create an extra layer of motivation. You won't want to let others or yourself down while building new habits. Be mindful of identity. True behavior change comes not from chasing outcomes, but from embodying a new identity. Instead of saying, I want to write a book, say, I am a writer. Instead of, I want to get fit, say, I am an athlete. Each time you perform your habit, you cast a vote for that identity. Over time, your sense of self shifts, and the habit becomes an integral part of who you are rather than something you do intermittently. Clarity of purpose and habit formation work in tandem. Your purpose tells you what habits to build. Your habits bring your purpose to life. Without habits, purpose remains aspiration. Without purpose, habits become aimless routines together. They form a self-reinforcing system. Purpose shapes habits. Habits reinforce identity. Identity powers action. And action advances purpose. Finally, measure your progress. What gets measured gets managed. Establish key performance indicators, KPIs that reflect advancement toward your purpose. If your goal is financial freedom, track savings rate, investment returns, and income growth. If your goal is creative mastery, track hours practiced, pieces completed, and feedback received. Review these metrics weekly and monthly. Celebrate improvements. Analyze setbacks. Adjust your habits and environment accordingly. In this way, you create a feedback loop. Clarity guides action. Action produces data. Data refines clarity. Refined clarity optimizes action. You move from guesswork to precision, from hope to certainty. As you integrate these practices, defining your major purpose, filtering every decision through it, designing supporting habits, and measuring progress, you transform your life from reactive drift into proactive design. You become the author of your story rather than a character in someone else's. Carry Part 4's insights into your everyday. Each morning, revisit your written purpose. Each focus session, align your tasks with that purpose. Each habit ritual, reinforce your identity. Each review period, measure your results and refine your course. With clarity and habits aligned, you stand ready for the final leap, integrating discipline, mindset, and momentum into a unified system. Part 5, where your purpose evolves from plan to living reality. The blueprint is in your hands. Construct with confidence. Every conviction, every vision, every carefully laid plan means nothing unless it is sustained by the twin engines of discipline and momentum. In parts 104, you dismantled procrastination, rewired your mind for resilience and belief, harnessed the power of decisive action, and crystallized your purpose into daily habits. Now comes the final and most crucial step, forging these elements into an unbreakable system that carries you forward day after day, year after year, until your dreams stand fully realized. Discipline is the currency of achievement. It is the silent commitment you make to yourself when no one is watching. It is the bridge between intention and outcome. Without discipline, the brightest vision fades, the boldest decision wanes, and the sturdiest habit unravels. Yet discipline is not some heroic, rare quality possessed only by a gifted few. It is a skill, one you build through small, consistent acts of will. Consider the greatest athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs in history. Did they possess superhuman talent? In many cases, no. What they had was the willingness to do what others would not, to show up when motivation ebbed, to push through discomfort, to practice when progress seemed invisible. Michael Jordan famously said that he'd missed more than 9,000 shots in his career, lost nearly 300 games, and his teammates had trusted him to make the game-winning shot, and he'd missed. Yet he persisted. That persistence, rooted in discipline, made him the greatest basketball player of all time. Discipline begins with tiny, no compromises. A morning routine you follow even when you feel tired. A promise to work on your highest leverage task for just 15 minutes daily. A commitment to clear one small distraction before beginning any focused work. These micro-commitments are the atoms of discipline. Each time you honor one, you strengthen your identity as someone who keeps their word. Over time, those atoms coalesce into a fortress of self-mastery. But discipline alone can feel like a burden if it is not fueled by momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that carries you forward once you have taken the first steps. It is why starting is the hardest part and why continuation becomes easier with each passing day. The law of momentum is simple. Consistent action begets speed. Speed begets ease. Ease begets confidence. Confidence begets bigger action, and the cycle accelerates. To ignite momentum, begin with a success spiral. Choose one area of highest impact: writing, exercise, sales calls, creative practice, and commit to a minimum viable effort each day. Perhaps 5 minutes of writing, 10 push-ups, 1 sales outreach, or a single sketch. No excuses, no negotiation. Do it every day. The first few sessions may feel forced. You may struggle to show up. But by day 7, you will feel a flicker of momentum. By day 30, you will feel its pull. Your brain craves consistency. It will begin to reward you with flow states and creative energy. As momentum grows, layer on complementary habits. Add a second session. Extend your time. Introduce accountability. Each new habit compounds the existing momentum, creating a web of positive routines that support each other. Soon, your mornings become a cascade of purpose. You wake, you move, you focus, you create. Each step triggering the next like a row of falling dominoes. Yet even momentum can stall if not tended. Life's inevitable disruptions, travel, illness, stress, threaten to break the chain. This is where systems matter. Design rituals for getting back on track immediately after a lapse. If you miss your morning practice, do it at night. If you skip a day, return the next. No shame, no over-justification, just restart. The single most powerful habit is the habit of resuming. The faster you resume, the less momentum you lose. Now, integrate your discipline and momentum into a weekly and monthly review. Each Sunday evening, reflect on these questions. Which habits did I maintain perfectly? Where did I falter and why? What lessons will I carry into the coming week? What is my one non-negotiable focus for the week ahead? This ritual of reflection and planning transforms random effort into strategic progress. It ensures that your actions remain aligned with your definite major purpose. It surfaces blind spots before they become derailments. It keeps your momentum on course. Beyond weekly reviews, conduct a quarterly vision check. Revisit your written purpose. Update it as necessary. Celebrate milestones reached. Recommit to what still lies ahead. This ritual prevents drift over the long haul. It reminds you that your journey is measured in years, not days. That meaningful success requires seasonal cycles of action, reflection, and renewal. Even with discipline, momentum, and reviews in place, you must guard against complacency. The moment you become comfortable is the moment growth stalls. Seek continual challenges that force you out of your comfort zone. Increase your standards. Raise the bar on your habits. If 15 minutes of practice became easy, extend to 30. If your focus sessions feel manageable, tighten your constraints. Growth lives at the edge of discomfort. Equally, cultivate self-compassion. Discipline without compassion devolves into rigidity. When life hits you with setbacks, illness, loss, unexpected crisis, respond with care. Adjust your systems temporarily. Then, with kindness toward yourself, resume. Self-compassion is not weakness. It is the oil that keeps the machinery of discipline running smoothly through rough patches. As your systems mature, you will experience an extraordinary phenomenon: identity convergence. The person you believe yourself to be, the person you practice becoming, and the person others see begin to merge. Your actions hardwire beliefs. Beliefs shape identity. Identity dictates behavior. When all three align, when you think, I am someone who follows through, and your habits confirm it, and your results reflect it, you become unstoppable. At this stage, success is no longer a distant goal, but your daily reality. You wake with purpose. You navigate your rituals. You confront challenges with equanimity. You recover swiftly from setbacks. You innovate, iterate, and ascend. Your life becomes a self-reinforcing masterpiece. Yet remember, this is not a static achievement. The world changes. Your dreams evolve. Your capacity expands. Therefore, your systems must evolve too. Regularly introduce new experiments. Test novel strategies, learn emerging skills, maintain beginner's mind. Curious, humble, eager. The combination of disciplined routine and experimental edge keeps you both stable and adaptive. Finally, share your journey. Teach what you learn. Mentor those behind you. Contribution amplifies your own growth. When you articulate your principles to others, you clarify them in your own mind. When you help someone else break a barrier, you reinforce your own mastery. The true measure of success is not what you accumulate, but what you give away. Your highest purpose emerges when your personal victory fuels collective progress. In these 5 parts, you have traversed the essential terrain of achievement, conquering procrastination, transforming failure into fuel, wielding decisive action, crystallizing purpose into habits, and forging a system of discipline and momentum. You stand now equipped, not with abstract inspiration, but with a concrete operating system for excellence. The world you desire lies on the other side of consistent, focused effort. The person you aspire to be emerges from daily rituals sustained over months and years. The dreams you cradle become realities shaped by your unyielding commitment. Now take a deep breath. Feel the power in your hands. You are the architect of your destiny. The blueprint is drawn. The materials are at your disposal. The furnace of discipline burns. The gears of momentum turn. Step forward, build, create, persist. And in time, you will look back on this moment not as the end of a speech, but as the genesis of your extraordinary life. Your masterpiece awaits. Rise and finish it.